Here's a question. Do you ever think back and try to remember what your first gaming experience on a specific console was? With all the games that gets released, purchased, played and replayed, it tends to get a bit blurry. I'm sure a lot of you still do, and possibly still own the disc or cartridge with its original case and manual.
And I would too if I wasn't such a dumb, irresponsible child. But the point I'm making is that I can name every first game for every console I either owned or played.
Sonic 06 on 360, Project Rub on DS, Smash Bros on GameCube, Sonic Adventure on Dreamcast, Ocarina of Time on N64, Rapid Reload on PlayStation, Yoshi on Game Boy, and yes, Sonic the Hedgehog on the Sega Mega Drive.
And you would assume that would be the first video game, or at least the first Sonic game, that set me on the path to be the Sonic fan I am today. But you're only half right. It was Sonic the Hedgehog, but it was this Sonic the Hedgehog.
Yes, Sonic the Hedgehog 8-bit was my first ever video game. Developed by 8chan and released on October 1991 for the Sega Master System and the Game Gear 2 months later, this was my first step into the world of video games and Sonic the Hedgehog. Gameplay is similar to that of the Mega Drive version. Sonic's abilities and items available are the same. Although the gameplay is similar, the game focuses more on exploration than the high-speed antics of its 16-bit counterpart. Therefore, it is slower and some power-ups rarely come into play. The Chaos Emeralds are found in main levels rather than special stages, with one hidden in each of the zones: Green Hill, Bridge, Jungle, Labyrinth, Scrap Brain, and Skybase. The special stages mainly exist as a bonus stage, where you can collect continues and extra lives once you finish the first or second act with 50 plus rings. Collecting 100 rings still grants you an extra life, but the counter resets to 0. The first 2 acts are standard levels, with some levels having a unique gimmick, like auto-scrolling or teleportation. A unique thing about Sonic 8-bit is that between each level you can see where you are on South Island as Sonic makes his way to Eggman's base, with Eggman himself showing up on the map demonstrating his movements for the fight. The third act is merely a short run to the boss and contains no rings, which is a challenge, although I will say the first encounter with Dr. Robotnik is pathetic. Also, is it me, or does this boss theme sound somewhat familiar? Speaking of which, the 8-bit chiptunes are catchy as hell. Aside from Green Hill that was rearranged for the game, each of the tracks are original, with the melody of Bridge Zone being sampled in a Janet Jackson song, and the credits theme being used for Daytime Savannah Citadel in Sonic Unleashed. And aside from the graphics looking colourful, with Green Hill, Labyrinth and Scrap Brain looking like their Genesis counterparts, as well as the assortment of badniks, there's not much else to say. It's a simple Sonic game.
And you know what? I really can't hate this game. I can't. Maybe it's the nostalgia? Maybe it's the fact that it was the first video game I ever played. But every time I play this, I just enjoy myself.
True, Sonic the Hedgehog 8-bit is not Sonic the Hedgehog 16-bit, but it's not really trying to be. It is its own game with its own approach as to how Sonic plays. Exploration in Sonic games wouldn't be used in a main Sonic title until Sonic 3 with its hidden giant rings. The worst part I could say is, like most 8-bit games, the frame rate chugs a bit when there are too many moving objects. It's a short game, maybe 45 minutes at best if you're going for all the emeralds. The Jungle Zone boss is the most difficult, and the hit detection on the Spikes Bagnik is off. Depressingly, there are no loops either. So what about the Game Gear port? Well, despite being the same game, the Game Gear port does have its differences. There's the iconic Sega splash screen. Most of the sprites have been redrawn to fit the smaller screen size. Exclamation points to signal danger in Green Hill. Jungle Zone Act 2 doesn't have the rising screen of death, and the bosses have been altered or replaced like with Skybase. To me, Sonic 8-bit is a classic in its own right, and dare I say it, I love this more than Sonic 16-bit. It looks great, sounds great, and plays great. Aside from its length and technical hitches, it is hands down the Master System game to own. If you love classic Sonic, do yourself a favour and play Sonic the Hedgehog 8-bit. I rate this game 9 out of 10. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, favourite and share with your friends. can also subscribe for future videos. If you want to see more by me, click on the annotations, and if you want to support the channel, you can over on Patreon. Again, thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next time.